Hey everyone, this is my Nolty Planner. So I'm going to talk about this today. I'll go through the layout really quickly. It's pretty simple. And then I'll talk about how I'm using it and show you the pages I've done so far. This did start November the 30th of 2020. So I was really excited to go ahead and get started on it. This is the 6507 version. I got it from Amazon Japan, so I will put the link below. This is A5 slim size, so kind of like a Moleskine Cahier notebook, and so that means it's in between the standard traveler's notebook size and A5 size. So I love a narrower cut on a notebook, and I've really been enjoying this. Let me go ahead and show you the layout. You know, one of the reasons I picked this was because it was so very simple. First of all, after the title page here, there is a spread of 4 whole years. So 2020 is here, then you have 21, 22, and 23 with some lines on this side. I never really utilize these types of spreads in any of the planners that I have. The next spread is this whole year overview. So you get all 12 months of 2021 on a 2-page spread. Haven't quite decided about this yet either. Next up are the monthlies, and it goes from December of 2020 all the way to March of 2022. And these are just the most subtle and simple and minimal spreads. They remind me of the simplicity of Midori MD, their planners and notebooks and all of their products. And I really love that about this, how simple it is. After the monthlies, there are the weeklies. As you can see, these are vertical weeks. And normally I have a hate relationship with the vertical weeks. I am a huge fan and a current user of the Hobonichi weeks, which is the horizontal layout. And I'll get into why I actually chose this for this project after I go through this layout. So the weeklies start November 30th, like I said, into the first week of December, and the weeklies go all the way to the end of December, and you get a couple of days, like the first 2 days of January of 2022. And the weeklies, they are Monday start. Well, so are the monthlies, as is the case with most Japanese planners. There is an empty column on the left here, and you get the months, like the previous month and the future month, with the current month in the middle. And the week is highlighted, like this current week is highlighted, which is really nice. You get some hours on the left margin here. So it starts at 7 a.m. and goes all the way to 10 p.m. in military time, I guess. And you have some shaded boxes up at the top and down at the bottom with margins up here with no times and a big space down at the bottom on each one. Again, very, very simple, very light layout. I love the gray that they use. I feel like it just kind of disappears into the background once it's been used and written on. The months are marked on the edges here, so they kind of just go down like that for each month. So again, very, very simple markings on the edge. After the last week, there are grid pages. They're blank, just the grid, and there are actually 34 pages of grid paper here. I am going to be utilizing this. I'm brainstorming about how, but I may use this to paste in some ephemera, but I'm not sure. I'm just going to let that develop as I use this in the new year. After the gridded page section is done, there are a few pages of maps. not too many. And then there's this page with the end paper, and that's it. So it's super simple, and I feel like they're not wasting any extra papers. I know with Hobonichi, there are a whole lot of extra informational pages at the end. And since I'm not a Japanese speaker or reader, I don't ever utilize those. So I like how there's not a whole lot extra in this book. At the bottom here, I have tested some inks. I am basically only going to be using my Uniball Signo RT1 gel pen in here. It handles it beautifully, but I did test out some of my fountain pen inks. Organic Studio Nitrogen shows a lot of really beautiful sheen on this paper. Emerald of Chivor does really great as well. A little bit of the red comes through, but I honestly don't know if that's going to pick up on camera. But the gold sparkles are there. Diamine of Robert, it does show the green sheen on here as well, but I don't know, I'm probably not going to capture that. The bleed through, there is none. Some slight shadowing, but you know, these are some pretty juicy inks, and I was surprised not to get any kind of bleed through with those. This paper is also really, really smooth. It doesn't feel like it has much of a grip at all to it, and it just feels really awesome. And I don't know what kind of paper this is. I think it's exclusive to Nolty. I'm not sure if it has an actual name, but it also has a really nice heft to it. It's got a nice thickness, much thicker than like Tomoe River 52 GSM. So I really love this. I love paper with a little bit of, you know, heft to it. So I've really been enjoying this. This is also, the color of this feels like it's a little ivory. Yeah, so this is the Hobonichi Cousin, and it has white paper. Yeah, you can see, oh, well, hopefully you can, that this is definitely a creamier paper. It actually kind of reminds me of the Hobonichi Weeks. Let me see if I can get mine. Okay, I've got my Hobonichi Weeks here. I have to find a blank paper. Oh, here we go. All right, so this, it actually doesn't look very similar. Well, to me, the Hobonichi Weeks paper looks like it has more yellow in it. This one, I like this color better. It feels more towards the tan end of being cream, whereas the Hobonichi Weeks looks a little more on the yellow end to me. So anyway, I've been really, really loving this paper. It works really great with my gel pen, so I don't have any complaints. All right, so what I have been doing for the monthly, since this does give me all of December of 2020, I went ahead and started. I actually am using the monthlies to keep track of weather. I have tried this a few times in the past in a bunch of different setups, including this Hobonichi Cousin that I used in, when did I use this? In July. And what I did was I tracked weather using stickers, and these are from Katnipp Illustrations on Etsy, which I will link below. And this was fine, but it wasn't anything I looked forward to. It didn't become as fun as I anticipated it would be. So this is one of the things I ended up not continuing on with. And in the past, I've also tried to just write the high and the low temperature of each day. And that didn't stick around either. It actually ended up feeling like too much work. So what I decided to do with this monthly is to write about the weather, but I write what it felt like and what it looked like in my own terms. So it's not very like technical. I have warmish and breezy-ish on some of these things. And I cannot tell you what a difference it has made to allow myself the freedom of just expressing it in my own words. There was something about having to look up on my phone the high and the low temperature in order to write it down that I just didn't like. I don't like having to open up and reference another device or look up information when I'm just trying to sit down with pen and paper and write. So with this, I don't have to do that. I can just think back on what the weather was like that day and how it felt and looked to me and jot down a little description of it. And I love it so much. I look forward to doing this every day now. As you can see, I do have some stickers because I have leftover stickers from Katnipp Illustrations when I was using them in the Hobonichi cousin. So I'm not doing them every day. I just kind of stick them in to embellish a little bit every now and then. But I really, really enjoy this so much. And I'm glad that I have a use for all of the monthly sections in here. So the weeklies, sorry about the sun. I just cannot escape this glare. So we're gonna keep going. This was heavily inspired by Lindsey Scribbles and her weeklies that she does in her Hobonichi cousin. So I was not actually using the weeklies like consistently in the cousin that I had. I had such a distaste for vertical weeks that I didn't really try hard to figure out a way to use this. But seeing Lindsey Scribbles and how she has this curated way of using her planner stickers in her layout, and then I believe she does use hers for planning, but then she goes back in and fills in with any kind of memories that happen during the day. And that's what really sealed the deal for me, because I thought I would use this to recount all of the events of the day, and then in the same manner curate the types of planner stickers that I use in here. So that's what I tried this whole first week, and it went so well. I ignore all of the times and I just use the columns as containment for everything that happened on the day. That's it. I've been skipping like 2 lines between each entry, and I find that gives me enough space to kind of mostly head down all the way to the bottom and take up almost all of the space. So I'm continuing with that. And if at any time I feel like a lot of extra things are happening, then I will just skip 1 line between instead. But I really love how this is turning out. I limited myself to like a maximum of 3 planner stickers per column, and I think that's really good. I love, like, I feel like it has just the right amount of stickers on here. And my goal here is to, if I forget about the things that happen during the day, looking at this is a great way for me to refresh my memory. And this doesn't take any time. You know, I'm not drawing anything. I'm only writing in my gel pen. Even though it looks kind of busy to me with all of the stickers and everything, it's actually quite simple, the approach that I have to this. So for now anyway, it doesn't feel like any extra work during my day. And I'm really loving this. So I don't consider this to be a chore or work at all. And I love being able to open this up and then have all of the happenings of every day just right at my fingertips, and so many on just one spread. In my daily journal, I tend to fill up like 4 pages a day. And so a lot of detail about what happened on a day gets really lost in all of my ramblings. And I also found that if I didn't have enough time, or I just didn't feel like writing a whole lot in my daily journal, I would do this in there, where I would jot down as like bullet points everything that happened, and then maybe go back later and fill in all of the details. And I really loved those bullet points that I would do every now and then in my journal. And I thought it would look really nice to have it all condensed into one place. So this kind of scratched that itch for me as well. And so this makes a really, really awesome reference book when I sit down to fill in my daily journal, my gratitude journal, and the 2 journals I keep for each kid. I have found myself opening this up and leaving it open like this so that I can look back here and remember everything that happened, and I haven't missed like any details, which I tend to do at the end of the day. Sometimes I'm just so tired. I can't even remember what happened after breakfast, and things just get really jumbled, especially if it's been one of those days. And then having this just helps me to not forget anything. And I so appreciate having this type of notebook for that. So that's currently how I'm using it, and I will just continue on and, hopefully continue to show you the spreads that I have in here. And I gotta say that I have never used planner stickers so effectively before. I had gotten a bunch of planner stickers to use in my Hobonichi cousin, but I was using them in the daily spreads. Okay, so like I would put little planner stickers around in my daily spreads, but they were so little that I feel like they didn't fit the format of this planner the way that I had hoped they would. And I find that the size of these are much better suited to this type of smaller layout. And I am so, so happy. I feel like this is like the perfect fit for the stickers, the memory keeping, and the weather. I have this Lindock pouch that it's kind of the companion for this. They go together. It has everything that I need to work in here effectively. So I have the Uniball Signo. This barrel is the Uniball 1 barrel, but I have actually filled this with the Uniball Signo ink. They can be swapped out very, very easily. The Uniball 1 ink is not waterproof or archival, but the Uniball Signo ink is, and so I went ahead and put that in there. But I have all of my planner stickers in here. These are all the planner stickers I own. I'm not a huge planner in the way of using planner stickers, so I don't have a whole lot. I have stickers from 2 different shops, the Katnipp Illustrations as usual. I've shown these. I actually have a video just about these, so I will link that video below. I've cut them all in half so that they'll fit in here because I did want a contained area for everything. But the new ones that I bought are these from Wendy Prints. And what I do when I'm looking for planner stickers, I do searches on Etsy and I just look around to find the illustration style that speaks to me. And every single time I find a shop that has the style that I like, it's always in the UK. So Katnipp Illustrations is UK based. And then when I found Wendy Prints, this is in the UK as well. So I was like, whatever. And I placed my order for a ton of different stickers and just sucked up the shipping because I did it all at once. But I really love her subtle, kind of almost mature style. And it's just, I don't know, it just really, really spoke to me. And I loved the color schemes of all of these as well. So I have ones for everything under the sun. Packages and like calculator to represent when we homeschool. So throughout the day, I will pick 2 or 3 stickers to kind of represent certain things that I've written down, but not everything gets a sticker, but I really like it that way. I love the way the spreads turn out. So I have both sets of stickers in my pouch along with the pen. So when I write in here, everything is just ready to go in one setup. So yeah, like I said, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the back pages, but I have a smash book that I'm going to keep like photos and things in, but I may put some photos or something in here as well. So we'll see how that goes. I have a floral ollie clip that I'm using. I use this to kind of like hold down and add some weight here so it will lay flat. The one gripe that I have about this planner is it does not want to lay flat. Looking at the binding, you would think this is a lay flat type of notebook, but it doesn't want to. It is super like secured and glued. There's not much give to the spine, so you really have to work it. Like you can't even just bend it backwards. You really have to like press on it like every single time. So if there's one thing I wish they would fix, it would be to, I don't know, have a little bit of a looser spine or allow it to have a little bit more give. And then once you flatten it out a bit, when you try to close it, without this, it really wants to like pop up, and I tend to have to kind of bend it like this to get it to lay closed again. But that's my only gripe, and it's not a deal breaker for me, obviously, because I so love the setup of this and the layout of it. When I was deciding to make a type of journal like this, I had actually first considered the Jabun Techo. I'm so glad I waited and didn't order that immediately, because the Jabun Techo has such a blocky layout in my opinion, and they use a lot of colors. They have a biz version that isn't as colorful, but still, even that biz version, I don't know, there was something about it that I didn't like. But then the Jabun Techo also has a ton of extra pages, like informational pages in the back, all of these tracking pages in the front, things that weren't useful to me for the purpose that I wanted. And I'm going to give credit to Catherine at Sterling Ink and April at Penguins Creative, because they're the reason Nolty was in the back of my head, and the reason why I ended up searching for this on Amazon Japan, because they had so many videos this year talking about their Nolties, and thank you ladies for the enabling. So that is how I ended up with this, and I am having so much fun with this. So let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully I covered everything, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.